This time on 818 Custom Garage, we're going to talk about the ground up or Addictive Flow front spoiler. Just a couple of tips and tricks on mounting one. They don't come pre-drilled or anything. So just few little things I learned about it, just to help make things a little bit better when you go to install one. So let's get into it. Man, so check this spoiler out. It's super nice. For a nice budget spoiler, they're pretty, they fit good, they look nice, they have some really cool contours to them. They go well with like a good pro touring build. I think they go well on a lot of different things too. But this is the carbon fiber look. It's not real carbon fiber, but we're gonna go underneath it, show you a couple little tips, and let's see what that looks like right now. All right, so if you look under here, like I said, I've got mine using a couple existing holes, but they do not come pre-drilled. So, in their instructions, which are pretty slim, they say to kind of clamp it in place, which is true. But they tell you to start clamping from the center out and stuff. I found the biggest thing to do is you get a good clamp on both corners and the center. And it's got this dimple in the center, right? And it aligns with the sheet metal. So it's pretty simple and you get it up in there. But I'll show you how I kind of clamped it. So the first thing is get it clamped right here in the center first. It could be a tight fit, depending on what clamp you use. These are just some cheapies. But like I said, you get this aligned here, get it sitting up, flush in there. And if you look in the front of the car, right, this is gonna line up with the whole front nose. So now, when you look at your front fascia, it does dimple up in, right? It kind of recesses up in there. So you wanna make sure you get this one clamped up in that recess really, really well. So get that first one aligned up. Then I like to come over, and this thing kind of springs out to the side. You've got to pull it in, clamp it in place. So clamp the one side. Then also on this side, same thing. Pull it in place, clamp it, right? Now what's nice is factory, there's a hole here. You've got your existing hole here, and then you've got your existing hole here. So there's 3 holes in that front fascia. They give you the J-clip with the bolt for both sides, both corners, right? They don't give you one for the center. You should already have one. And that goes to your core support and to your hood release. So this hole is not drilled. So none of the holes are drilled there, right? So I get it all clamped in place first. And then I'll drill the corners. And honestly, you've got it clamped in place. It's a good size hole. You can kind of see what it looks like underneath. And you can just run a pilot drill up through there, right? Kind of center it yourself, get both of them set up, drill the holes to the sides of the bolt, throw the J-clips in, and then bolt them down. Now here's one of the tricks that I learned, and I learned it from doing the first side. If you look, I have 2 washers in between the spoiler and the J-clip, because you see the sheet metal bows up, right? If you pull down tight on this thing to keep it in place, it's going to crack the spoiler. So if you look, I've got, minor crack there and there. So give yourself a couple nice grade 8 washers, that way they don't rust. Or you can make a nice aluminum spacer, which I thought about doing, but for front spoiler, I'm not gonna go that far. So first tip, space, 2, they're like just grade 8, I think 3/8, standard SAE washers on both sides, right? So we've got them over here too. So that'll help you, so you can use the existing bolt that they give you still. It'll help you get it nice and tight, and then you won't crack the actual spoiler. Now the other thing is, so get those both corners in, then come over to the front. And what I did was I had some existing holes here. You can see my button head Allens here and here. So I used those as I had it clamped. I just used a 90-degree drill and popped through the top, through the holes, and then through the spoiler, and then bolted those down. Then I came back to the center, and it was all kind of set up. And you can do the same. I did the same thing. You can kind of, feel out where the bolt should go, just by kind of checking the top. Run a quick pilot hole through it, then pull it down a little bit, drill out to fit the bolt. Now, the one thing I didn't do yet that I'm going to do is I would run like a nice larger fender washer here, because I already noticed it starts to pull in, and everybody's piece of fascia is going to be a little bit different, right? Some will be nice and flat, some might have a bend in it. So I would recommend putting that washer there. So really, those are the tricks. And you can see, don't pull up too hard in a couple areas. I would use maybe a little bit larger washers. I got a little crack there. So just be careful when you go to tighten everything down. Using a larger washer to spread the load is the smarter way to go. And they don't give you any other, they give you a couple little J-clips and, whatever you call it, speed nut, and sheet metal screws if you want to do that. I just didn't want a sheet metal screw sticking up if I ever had to go work on the car somewhere. So I used a button head with a serrated nut. I might go to a nylock nut just to make sure, but I hope everybody enjoyed that. I think it fits really good. When you first see it, you're like, man, this thing's not gonna fit. But you clamp it into place, do the corners first, get everything aligned, and you'll be good to go. I think you could probably get away with just using the three existing, using those three existing bolts that are there from the factory, and it'll hold on. I think having maybe one on each side, one extra, will give it a little bit, because it's pretty rigid. So, I mean, it's on there good. So, hope everybody enjoyed it. Please comment, like, subscribe. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. Tell us what you want to see. We're going to do a lot more on the Camaro. Been kind of slacking on it, so we got a lot of wiring left to do. Might do some time-lapse work on that, show you what's up there. But I'd like to give you guys a good overview of the whole car too. So it's going to be a pretty fun car. So catch you on the next one.